St. Luke is not only known as the author of the third gospel, but because of his writing, Luke and Acts of the Apostles, they were supposed to be one work, they only got separated over time. He is also known to be a physician, Luke the physician. We're going to have a white mass here at St. Agnes on October 18th. This is feast day. Now, white mass is for those who are in the medical profession, doctors, nurses, medical personnel, because St. Luke is their patron saint. But he's also known to be a painter. Why? Because he paints beautiful scenes in his gospel with words. He paints with words. Some of you, especially if you're of Polish extraction, might be familiar with the beautiful portrait of Black Madonna, Our Lady of Częstochowa. And that portrait, Buddha, in Poland, is attributed to Saint Luke. Now, you can see from today's reading what a wonderful painter he is in words. You can look at this scene of the rich man and Lazarus, and you can practically picture what is going on here. This Lazarus is laying out in front of the rich man's house. There's no sign here that the rich man was particularly hostile to Lazarus. In other words, he's not kicking him, get out of my way. He's not yelling at him, I'm going to call the police if you don't leave. He's not telling the dog to signal. You don't have any of that here. All you can see here is a lack of interest in Lazarus. The rich man doesn't really even notice him. Basically, he just steps over him. And when we look at this passage, we have to say the sin of the rich man is his lack of concern for Lazarus, his lack of concern for the poor. They don't even, Lazarus or any poor person, doesn't even enter into his mind. He's in his own world, and for the rich man, things are going rather well. There's no indication that he wishes Lazarus any harm, but bottom line is, he does him no good. And when we say the Confiteor at the beginning of Mass, for the things I have done and for the things that I have failed to do. That's what this is all about. The things that I have failed to do. Now, when we see a reading like this, and we are talking about the things we fail to do, especially in regard to our obligations to our fellow human beings, especially those who are less fortunate, we have to have a discussion of justice. We hear the term social justice. And unfortunately, sometimes we only hear that in regard to liberal causes. But social justice is a term that is rich with meaning, and it's not only the property of the far left, but it is the property of the church. What does the church teach about justice? A very important concept in our moral theology. Let me tell you about 3 kinds of justice. Then we'll talk about our obligations to the poor, whether they are political or personal. Then we'll talk about how what we do in this world has an effect on where we're going to land in the next. There are 3 kinds of justice that we talk about in the Catholic Church. The first one is that there is what we call Commutative justice. Commutative justice. But this applies not only to church, but it is what is proper and ethical for all human beings. Commutative justice has the idea to commute, to go from one place to another, but here, one person to another person. So that if you sell me something, I have an obligation to pay for what you sell me. We agree upon price. And for those of you who maybe have some legal background, you went to law school, you know about contracts. That's the basic contract. I make a contract with you. You want to sell me something, I take it into consideration, and then I decide whether or not I want to purchase that object, and then we exchange. I get the item, you get the money. That's commutative justice. And we have an obligation to pay our bills. A lot of people, they don't think they have to pay their bills. But you know what happens to them? They get the electricity shut off. They get the water turned off. So we have an obligation to pay our bills. And if you don't pay your bills, you're going to pay a credit rating. And then you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. That's commutative justice. Second kind of justice, a little bit more complicated. It's called distributive justice. And a lot of times people make a big mistake when they talk about distributive justice. Distributive justice. Distributive justice is not like distributing everything to everybody. Okay? It's not like, Robin Hood. You rob from the rich and give to the poor, and somehow, you think that is doing God's will. Oftentimes, that's the premise that the socialist state is based on, the communist state is based on. You just distribute everything to everybody in society, and that kind of equalizes society. That's not it. Distributive justice means this. It's giving us a level playing field. A level playing field for us to what? To achieve what? Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, general welfare, and property rights. So, to create a just society, we have to make sure that people have an equal opportunity to achieve what their goals are. Whether it's a material thing, I want to buy a house, I want to set up a business, I want an education. Society has to make sure that people can have access to these things. But it doesn't mean that everybody is entitled to all of these things by the mere fact that we are human. We're only entitled to what we work for. We're only entitled to what our capacity is intellectually. So let me just give you an example. Distributive justice means if I work very hard and I want a house in Port Royal, I have to work for that house. Okay? And society has to say, okay, if that's what you want to do, there are going to be fair labor laws. There are going to be fair banking laws. You're going to have the opportunity to work for what you want. And everybody is equal in that. Now, but not everybody is equal insofar as their talents are concerned. So suppose I decide that I want to play center field for the New York Yankees. Well, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. So I'm not entitled to play center field for the Yankees. And therefore, I might not get the big contract I need to buy the house in Port Royal. The same thing, suppose I decide I want to be a doctor. That ain't gonna happen either. Not now. It wasn't gonna happen 40 or 50 years ago either. I don't like the sight of blood. That's not gonna happen either. So according to my capacity, well, what am I entitled to? I'm entitled to what my capacity lends itself to. I'm entitled to an education. What I can learn. Let me tell you right now. I was not capable of learning calculus. Okay? Sometimes I stop in the classrooms that I do in high school, and they're doing calculus. They might as well be talking Martian. I have no idea what they're talking about. So I use my talents. I can say, oh, I learned Latin. I learned English grammar. I learned history, you see? And those are things that I'm good at, and those are things that I can invest my time and my energy in. And then some people, they're not made for school, but they're made for other things. They do well in other things that they pursue in life. And the society has to enable them to achieve. To achieve what? To achieve whatever their capacity is. Physical capacity, intellectual capacity. That's distributive justice. It's to level the playing field so that people are able, according to their talents, their intellectual talents, physical talents, to get what they want. Albeit, they have to be willing to work for what they want. I could be a genius, and then I decide, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to study. Therefore, you know what? I'm not entitled to anything if I'm not willing to work for it. See, that's distributive justice. The third one is proprietary justice. Now, some of you may have seen the movie Les Miserables. How many have seen that movie? Read the book? Yes, yes. Raise your hand, raise your hand. Yes, that was a great movie. Okay. I was in this place called New Jersey, and my sister said to me, "You've got to come to see this movie." And I said, I don't like to go to movies. She said, no, you got to come and see this movie. And I remember reading the book like, a long time ago. But you remember when John Valjean, he was starving, his family was starving. What did he do? He stole a loaf of bread. Now, the question is, did he have a right to steal a loaf of bread? What do you think? You're starving, your family's starving. You have a right to steal the loaf of bread. Yes, you do. Why? There is a higher good. The higher good is the right to life. Did he break the law? Yeah. He broke the positive law. He broke the civil law. But was he innocent insofar as he did not commit a moral offense? And should a judge or a magistrate be able to discern that although the law was broken, in effect, the man was morally innocent? The answer is yes. And he spent many years, if you recall the movie or the book, unjustly in prison for a crime that should have been exonerated because of his right to life and the right to support his family. That's proprietary justice. Okay. Now, society, talking about this poor man Lazarus, does society have an obligation to Lazarus? And there are many instances of Lazaruses among us. Do we have an obligation to the poor as a society? The answer is yes. As a society, we do. And this is one step removed from religion. Although, I'll say this, Western society is very much influenced by Judeo-Christian culture, which always is concerned about the needs of the poor. And so what we have, especially in Western society, is that we have what we call a safety net. So that people who are just not making it don't have food, don't have clothing, don't have a place to live. Society, through taxation, our taxes, provides for their needs. And so we have different programs, housing programs, welfare programs, food stamp programs, to give these people the things that they need to live a basic human life. Now, How do you decide then how far that goes? And that's always the problem. See, society, especially today in Western societies, which are tending more and more towards socialism, create numerous rights. And society then has to agree on what these rights are. And some people might say, well, certain rights that are manufactured, they're over the top. I don't have an obligation to pay for someone's child care. I certainly don't have the obligation to pay for abortion. I don't have the obligation to put some students through school for courses that are not going to lend themselves to being productive for their future. And you see, so that society has to decide which rights, which entitlements they're going to give. Now, the bottom line, though, is when we call something justice, justice means to take care of people's basic needs. We have to take care of people's basic needs. There is, in our society today, as I said, there's a movement towards socialism. People begin to think this is the way to go. And socialism basically is taking from one group of people, and maybe a small group of very wealthy people, and giving it to everybody. And we talked about that earlier. That's not what distributive justice means. There's an inherent problem with that. What's the inherent problem? What happens when you run out of rich people? Then there is no more money. So you go look at Venezuela. You see what's happening. Take a look at Cuba. See what's happening. You have people who are living in a very poor country, and people who are once wealthy are no longer wealthy, and everybody is poor and miserable together. So what do we then have to do in order to have this just society? Let's be clear. No matter what society we live in, whether it's capitalist or socialist society, the poor, Jesus said this, the poor are going to always be with us. The poor are always going to be with us. In our own city here in Naples, we have poor people. They're living in the woods. I had them at St. Matthew's House looking for a bed to sleep in. This is Naples. There's a food line outside of St. Matthew's House every day. People coming to the soup kitchen for food. And this is one of the wealthiest societies the world has ever known. And we live in one of the wealthiest communities in the country. And the poor are always with us. We cannot leave it up to government to take care of the needs of the poor. Government only goes so far. Only goes so far. The rest of it is our personal obligation. You don't think of that, do you? You see, if you pay your taxes, you're not doing anything virtuous, are you? You're not. You're paying your taxes. That's the law. You don't pay your taxes, you're going to go to jail. And so you have an obligation to care for poor people on your own. On your own. Or else you're going to end up like the rich man. He didn't care. He ignored Lazarus. Stepped right over him. It's always been the job of the church to remind people of their obligation to take care of the poor. And you have to ask yourself, are you leaving it all up to government? Or some future government that's socialist? Does everybody be happy when we have a socialist government? Do we think we're living in a perfect society now? The answer is no to both. What about your concern for the poor? Is it real? Are you stepping over Lazarus all the time, not paying any attention to him? Today, our second collection is going to be for the relief of the victims of Hurricane Dorian. You saw the devastation in the Bahamas. It is one of the most pathetic sights I've ever seen. Those islands have been leveled. Those people have nothing. If you haven't done anything thus far, you're going to have an opportunity coming your way very shortly. And what you decide to do will have an impact on what side of the divide you land on. Heaven